ammo. This is not gonna work. I don't have the right weapons for this. Except for rocket launcher.
But you see how I mean, like, a
The
tiny
reload
fuck
really
up
does not help.
on my part can snowball to make the whole level feel like the most broken piece of shit ever made. It doesn't take much. It just takes one little fuck up. It's like I intended for him to be in this
the
situation.
reload just makes this the worst thing ever. I hate Mark's reload. So much do I hate his reload. Fucking hell do I hate the reload.
Hope I'm not gonna get hate from Mark.
If the classic mode wasn't so broken.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Yeah, rocket launcher. Rocket launcher in close combat.
Oh. 2 health.
Fucking Mancubus, he's the worst thing of this whole part.
He certainly is.
Oh. Fucking imp. Oh my god, this is annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating him at this point. I'm actually kind of surprised he kept playing. You could tell this guy's seen some shit before because this barely phased him. So he's probably played some levels that were like 10 times worse than this, and he had a rocket launcher.
Yes, Ninja.
And that's how it was supposed to be played.
I'm still on. This would be better if I didn't have a fucking rocket launcher. If I had a chain gun. This is extremely difficult because I don't have a chain gun. The worst part about this is all I have is rocket launcher ammo and shotgun ammo. That's not going to help me. Rockets and shotgun are not going to help me in this situation.
The weird thing is that Brutal Doom does not say how many bullets he actually has. It doesn't say shit. Look at that. It says 0 bullets. He's maxed out. He's got 300 fucking bullets.
Basically screwed because I don't have the appropriate weaponry. I mean, trying to use a shotgun for all of this, I mean, it's doable, but it takes 3 hours to fucking reload. Oh. Also, I hate the metal music. I like the original music. I hate the...
Yeah, you know, he's got a point about that. I wonder if I should just be using the regular Doom 2 music and, like, just leave it at that. Like, I don't know.
This metal track. I'm more of a fan of the original style of music. Actually, I think I found a safe spot.
So he managed to find a safe spot because, at a stroke of luck, he stood exactly where the Mancubus spawns. At the exact time that he spawns. And the Mancubus obviously didn't telefrag him. So, no Mancubus. Instant death. Instant success.
I don't know if the Mancubus is spawning in or not.
Yeah, he didn't see the door opening. See, the Hell Knights are coming in, but he didn't even notice them. A lot of that has contributed to the fact that he's stuck in a corner. He's afraid to move out. See how cautious he is? He knows that if he stays here, he can just chip them all away. I'm so glad that I toned this sequence down.
Well, that worked way better.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mancubus spawned in though. I think I teleblocked the Mancubus from spawning in.
I guarantee you he's gonna do this again. If he plays this again, he's gonna block the Mancubus again. It's not gonna work because he won't be in the exact spot. That was a total fucking luck shot.
Because I don't see his corpse anywhere.
Alright, I gotta fix this. There's like 3 barons that are just chilling off to the side, and they don't come back over for a long time, so I'm gonna have to fix this.
Yep, I teleblocked the Mancubus. That is funny. Oh my god, this is fucking annoying.
Yeah. One of the worst things to experience is a frustrated player when they're playtesting something you've created.
That Mancubus was the main problem with this whole area. This music is really throwing me off too. I really don't like this music. It's really throwing me off. This is probably my most hated track in Doom.
Yeah, the music's gotta change.
I would have rather had the original Doom music playing. Jesus. Fuckers can stop firing.
This guy's a champ, man. He's down to the last health. $39. Jesus. Which is another thing that's easy to bring up. Okay, so you notice the chain gun was a big problem if you didn't pick that up. You could completely get to this part without actually picking up the rocket launcher. I wonder how that enjoyable experience would be. This has to be beatable with plasma alone. The rocket launcher has to be something that just makes it easier. I don't know.
I really hate that music. At least it stopped. The bad thing is that music happens every single time battles happen, and it's just so distracting. It's a horrible choice for music. Because it's just like in your face distracting. That track.
All those bullets make me cry.
It's like somebody banging a pan right beside your ear. You know how someone would be like screaming, or like a bunch of screaming children run past you and are running in circles around you.
I'm going to go over everything that I did in this episode, starting from all the way over here. Christ, I hope I can remember everything. So the first thing was that I decided that rather than have the blue key be really super far away, I actually kind of place it more in your face so that it'll probably be one of the first things you notice. It's very visible and much closer. It also involves kind of an interesting floor over floor area here that has kind of changed the way this entire section functions. Um, it's there's a lot more verticality now, and you're definitely going to notice that there are more things to do up there. Um, so one of the things that I noticed during the playtest was when he flipped the switch, he really had a hard time. He didn't notice that this actually came down, even though he had flipped the switch a second time and actually ran through. I guess he was aware that that's what it was. But one of the things that's distracting is that the bad guys would spawn here and the Hell Knight would spawn here, and that would be very super distracting. And most players will be facing the bad guys. Most players always go towards and face bad guys. Period. That is just like something that is a constant. It never it never works the other way around. So I moved the bad guys that spawn into this area here. You see these spawners. So when you flip that switch, you'll see them spawn, and that makes this secret over here maybe a little bit too easy to find. I don't know. I'm not a super huge fan of like making a secret this obvious, but I think in general a lot of people will probably see the monsters fight. Maybe some people won't even notice that the damn thing still went down. I'm about 99% sure that or about 90, maybe 80% sure that most players are just going to see it coming down, not be able to do it the first time, fight all these guys, and then go back, flip it, and then come up here, grab the soul sphere, check this area out up here from above. Now, there's a difference in how this section here, now this is way later in the map, but since it's the same area, I went ahead and just skipped ahead basically. So you flip this switch, that brings these down and the switch down, and now that gives you access to this area, and you see the blue key totally visible. You also see like there's places to kind of go. You may also notice that now there is a BFG secret here. Um, so this is a lot more elaborate, and I'm not 100% sure how I want to handle this yet, because I think I'm gonna give you the BFG probably as like after all of this shit in this level is done. That's because I'm planning to actually have something that happens after this level is complete. Whether or not that's going to be a thing, up in the air, because this has actually been really taking a lot of my time. Um, but there is a BFG secret now, and I'll get to that in a second. So you grab this, the blue key, and now you remember when you flip the switch and these come down, that's when these doors here open up, and that's when these enemies spawn. So what I've done is I've increased the number of enemies that spawn over here. When you're up here, I do want to make sure that the player goes into this room before going into here. So when you flip that, or when you grab the key, those doors back there, they open up and a larger number of enemies spawn. The player is most likely going to like kind of strafe back and forth, shooting them, kind of picking them off, and then moving forward. Usually when players are faced with an enemy and you can fall down and there are flying enemies, most players almost instinctively will choose not to fall down because I really don't want you to. I don't. I prefer that you stay up here and you kind of like fight them, and then you move up a little bit, and then you kill this guy, and then you know what I mean, and you don't fall down. Losing a height advantage is really bad news, especially with flying enemies in a very porous area like this. because you'll be, I don't know, it's just going to be bad news if you get caught in this space like that. Well, anyway, the BFG secret is a post level when the whole level is pretty much open up to you kind of a thing. Well, wait, before I get to the BFG thing, I got something else to explain. So this door over here is now a yellow key card, and this is because I want to make sure that you complete all sections of this area before moving forward. The way it used to be is that there used to just be a rocket launcher here, and you could do whatever you want. Like, you could skip grabbing the rocket launcher if you felt like it, and you'd end up getting fucked like hardcore in this area. So I moved the rocket launcher into here, so it's basically impossible not to have it. And I made this area a yellow key, and it does the same thing. You know, the door opens, but there's an addition to this area here. You'll notice that there's this like bridge. There's this really cool section up here. Now this is a way later area, supposed to be sort of a post map after, you know, you're just searching for all the final secrets and everything like that. This leads to the BFG secret. So you'll notice that when you come in here, there's a red door, and the red skull key is the last key that you actually get. You fight all these enemies. You go up this, more enemies spawn. You get up to here, and then it's actually like just Keiko demons spawning, all kinds of crazy shit. There's chain gun guys up here gonna be picking at you, so while you move forward, you'll have to like kind of shoot them. And then there's a Baron back here. You finally get to this. You'll notice. Now let's see if I hide these guys. You'll notice that there's the BFG secret is right here. Just imagine it's there. I'm hiding it right now. And you flip this switch, these pillars will lower down so that you can now jump down and get to the BFG. Now, it's possible that I can rework this so that the BFG secret comes much sooner. Like, if you figure it out, like you can actually do that part much sooner. But I'm not really sure yet how I want to handle that. But this is a pretty cool fight out here, and in general, it's just kind of a cool area, and also it looks really cool when you're over here. Like when you're in this section and you're looking down this way, and you see these like over under areas and this like catwalk. That's just pretty fucking cool. Anyway, so this area has been really restructured, and I moved the soul sphere to here instead of where the BFG is because I want the soul sphere to be visible in more places, and I want it to be more tied to this because when he was playing the level, he actually kind of gave up, and he was just like, okay, I guess all this stuff is for later, and then he just kept going through, right? The soul sphere being right next to something that's a lot more obvious will make it so that he's really high chance. Like next time you watch the playthrough, guarantee you he's gonna get the soul sphere. I'm betting on it. But anyway, um, this also allows you to jump down and do this like in a different order and everything like that. So this area is now functioning differently. Now, my original goal was to get some kind of a sequence where it kind of took you out of your comfort zone for a second, like you're like you're not in control anymore, blah blah blah, all that stuff, right? Basically, now it doesn't matter what order you flip these switches, but each additional switch that you flip will spawn more bad guys, but it also makes an earthquake. So when you flip the switch, it'll like rumble, and you'll be like, whoa, 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 and it's rumbling. You're like, oh god, and then something spawns, and then you gotta fight it. And it starts off, it's like one imp, then it's two imps and a hell knight, and then it just progressively gets worse and worse until the music changes. The music doesn't change to the original song that I had before. I actually changed it because I know he was complaining about that, and I totally agree. Like maybe that song just sucked ass. It was just constantly repetitive. Ugh, probably is one of the worst songs in the game. Another thing is that when he decided to hang out here, when the barons were coming through this doorway, a lot of the barons got stuck up here, and it's kind of a difficult place for barons to for them to kind of come back out. So what I've done is I've made it so that there's no stairs there. This is more of a straight shot. That way the barons won't get stuck as easily, and you'll actually see them funnel in and come after the player a little bit more reliably. Uh, the neat thing about the earthquakes is not a common thing in Doom. You feel the earthquake. It actually kind of makes a more tense moment where you might actually see him like you might actually see the player kind of like, okay, I get it now. Like it's getting worse and worse with every switch that I flip. Blah blah blah. I noticed that there's one thing that came up now that probably would have never came up before, is that now that it feels more intense with the earthquake and the monster spawning, more players are going to want to be able to like backtrack and maybe grab health or weapons or whatever like stuff, ammo, but they're not going to be able to because I have to lock you into this area, otherwise things can potentially break pretty easily. For example, player who's clever enough to like leave the door open, shoot bad guys from out here, and then when you get to the actual battle part, it locks them and then they can't complete the level anymore. I don't want some stupid shit like that to happen, and it's really difficult to fix that. Even with ACS's long arms, this is the only lift that remained intact, just because I wanted to kind of have one in place. This will typically be the last switch that most players will flip, but it won't necessarily be the case. Um, yeah, it's totally up to you. Like you flip this one, you flip this one. The way it's scripted is that it just progressively gets worse the more you flip. Uh, and that was really about it. This area out here didn't really behave too poorly. Having the rocket launcher placed in this room guarantees, or at least mostly guarantees, that the player is not going to have a shitty time missing the rocket launcher. Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna put one more cells pack, like right here or something. Okay. Oh yeah, there's more. Uh, yeah, a lot actually happened in this episode. Shit, it's like 12 more minutes. This can't be this long. It's already a 30-minute thing. Well, one of the things that I observed, and I don't know how it's going to play out, is that he was very cautiously watching the red rocks on the outside. I noticed it while he was playing. He was like, huh, what's this? And then what's this? Now, I mean, he could have been looking back that way because it was just like a neat thing that you could see an area that you were at before. But I I placed a health vial over here on the very edge. Most players will see that health vial and immediately know, hey, the level designers communicated to me that I can get over there, and you just jump. And then that leads you to ammo and a secret that I normally would not want the player to have. One of the things about the backpack and No Rest for the Living was that the backpack completely fucks or ammo balance, in my opinion. However, given the extra tools that I have at my disposal when it comes to spawning of continuous waves of monsters and all of that shit, the backpack actually I can deplete a player of backpack ammo just as easily. It only takes twice as long, and and that's not a very long time. So given the tools at my disposal as far as scripting, I'm not as worried about the backpack. But in No Rest for the Living, all of those monsters were hand placed. They weren't spawning in all the time, and even the ones that were had to be placed somewhere in the map. I had less at my disposal. Backpack's not an evil thing anymore, and I don't think that the backpack actually throws weapon or ammo balance out in this setting nearly as much as it used to. So, yeah, It's a really powerful item, and most players are not even going to know it's there because there's a big rock blocking it. Although, if you get really close right here and you edge off, you might notice that there's a health file invisible site. Alright, I gotta end this. So, hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more. There's one more episode, and yeah, this is gonna be a cool map. I hope.
Back from the dead.